What's the biggest difference between this year's camp and last year's camp?
I would probably say that last year's camp, the first 3 days we went without pads. This year, his philosophy is more like a ball about hitting. Like last year, it was more about like finesse and stuff like that. This year, it's more about just hit him and hit him and hit him, which I really like simply because we're pretty bad at tackling. Well, we were last year. This year, I mean, we start out practice with a tackling session, and I kind of like hitting, so.
You're going to go to Hannibal on Saturday. You're going to get to play against some other teams, and even though it is early and you've only had a few practices, do you think that's beneficial?
Yeah, I think it's definitely beneficial because we're going to play teams like Hannibal, Boonville over there, and they run a lot of the same stuff we do. So I think it'd be great to see just kind of how we match up against them.
Biggest difference between last year's camp and this year's camp?
This year's camp is a lot more fast-paced, and we're splitting up offense and defense of groups, and we're learning more specialized in each position and a lot of more hitting too.
With the groups, it's a little more individual instruction that way. Talk to me about that a little bit.
What do you want to know about?
With the groups, it's you get a little more one-on-one with the coaches. Is maybe them you did before?
Oh yeah, we're going back to detail and we're getting one-on-one coaching and making sure everyone knows each thing before we move on, and just making sure we pay attention to detail before we go on to the bigger things.
Talk to me about going to camp. Talk to me about how excited you are going there and playing against somebody else.
I'm excited to go to camp because we haven't really got an opportunity to do this before in my past years. We see a lot of good competition and we should be able to get a lot better, work out some of the kinks.
What's the biggest difference between this year and last year?
Last year we started our camp a little bit later than this year, which I think earlier should be better because we have a lot more time to get better and work on the stuff we need to work on.
Okay, you're going to go to Hannibal on Saturday. It's got to be you like that, going there and playing against somebody else early?
Yeah, I like it because it shows us the competition we have and what we need to work on with ourselves and what other teams are going to do with our new strategies and everything.
Is this new camp a little more fast-paced than the other one was?
Yeah, we have some of the better quote-unquote better teams in the district and everything, and they should just be good to play against.
And let's change that. Well, I mean, your summer camp now that you're doing here, is this a little more fast-paced and quicker? And
yeah, I think so. Their practices are shorter, which I mean it's better because it's hot, but he teaches us a lot more in the little time we have when we do it, though.
Do you like that better?
Yeah.
Why?
I like that better because, like, one, I get to practice early, and two, like, it helps me to learn quicker. Like, if we just take like an hour or like 2 hours like learning something, then we're not going to get better. We're going to get better on just one thing, not several things in one practice.